Welcome to Acoustic Corner. I'm Steve Rothenberg, and each week we'll explore the world of acoustic music, from blues to bluegrass, classical, flamenco, and fingerstyle guitar, and everything in between. We'll feature live performances by some of the best musicians and bands in the Denver area, and visit local guitar shops and luthiers to discover where you can find yourself a beautiful custom-made guitar, banjo, or mandolin. For those of you interested in learning how to play guitar or improving your skills, you'll find lessons on how to play fingerstyle guitar, blues guitar, as well as other popular styles. Join us each week for a tour through the acoustic music landscape. There's something for everyone at Acoustic Corner. Hi, I'm Steve Rothenberg, and I'm here with my friend Dave Greenwald, who I've known for quite a while and is a real fine player, as you'll see soon. And Dave, you can catch Dave at La Dolce Vita from time to time up in Arvada. And Dave is also an instructor at the Acoustic Music Revival guitar shop on South Broadway in Englewood. So, Dave, I know that you're a real fan of sort of Delta blues, 1920s 30 blues style.
Yes, I am.
And that instrument there is probably just perfect for the kind of stuff you play.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us a little twiddle, because that's not many people know that they do make guitars that are entirely built out of steel. And that you play with a solid, or this one's solid brass that Dave has on his ring finger. Yeah. So the kind of music you play, I guess, would if Robert Johnson's probably maybe the best known, or maybe not so well known, inventor, guy who started this whole thing. What do you know about him?
Well, he was from Mississippi. I think Robbinsville or something. I've never been down that way.
Yeah.
But he learned from people like Son House, Skip James, Ike Zinnerman. So he wasn't the first one.
Names I don't know, yeah.
Yeah,
probably probably will now. So most people actually do know of Robert Johnson in an indirect way. He was the character in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, who's picked up at the crossroads. He's sold his soul to the devil to play the way he does, and that's sort of based on a legend Robert Johnson.
Right. There's an old African legend about a person wanted to have powers. He would go down to the crossroads and meet a god named Legba, and Legba would grab his guitar, twiddle around with the pegs, and give it back to him, and in exchange for his soul. And you'd play like the wind, you'd have that stuff down.
And that was the legend of this character, whose name in the movie was not Robert Johnson,
Tommy
but
Johnson.
Tommy Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reality is, I think that Robert Johnson was playing in bars in the South and wasn't particularly good. Then he disappeared for a while, where he went, I think, to Baton Rouge to actually take lessons and get good. And when he came back, people were surprised at the improvement, and he just took off. I mean, obviously he had figured out what he needed to know about playing, and that he really developed it. So who else in that era? You mentioned a couple of other folks too.
Oh, Son House.
Yeah, Son House. You can find recordings of these guys?
Sure, you can. Yeah,
I know that Robert Johnson unfortunately didn't live to a ripe old age, and I think he died when he was like 35 maybe.
Yeah, I've heard as young as 26.
Actually, you're right, it was younger.
Yeah.
So, and he had just, maybe the reason why I've heard about this is I think they might have re-released the recordings that he made at the time that he was around his death. And I'm pretty sure that he had actually been scheduled to play Carnegie Hall.
Yes, he was. There was a Swing to Spiritual concert.
Yeah.
With Benny Goodman, I don't know if it was Count Basie, all the local, famous blues people.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to show up, and a few weeks before he was dead.
And was it suspicious, mysterious death?
Yeah.
He was murdered.
No. The story goes according to Dave Honeyboy Edwards.
I'm not trying to be insensitive, but I'm sure it wasn't. So what's the story?
Well, he angered a man. He was flirting with his wife. And
Frankie
like a
and
lot of
Jo-
musicians do, I bet you've done that when you've...
Right,
you know.
little Frankie and Johnny.
Yeah, and so the guy bought him a drink, and I think it was Sonny Boy Williams. He grabbed a bottle. He said, "Don't drink that. You know, you never drink from an open bottle." Because people were poisoning people a lot back then. But he said, "Don't mess with me. I'm going to drink what I want to drink."
Yeah.
And the next day, he had terrible pains in his stomach, and by the afternoon,
Yeah, well,
he was
that's a whole
gone.
other story.
Yeah.
Well, on a happier note, he did leave behind some really fine music. So why don't you? This is a national.
It's a National
Steel,
built in 1933.
33.
I bought it in Ottumwa, Iowa, and back in about 1964.
Okay, you've owned it for a while. Well, let's hear you play something on it.
Okay.
What are you going to play?
I guess I'll play the Walkin' Blues. It was actually a Sun House song recorded in Grafton, Wisconsin, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up this morning feeling round for my shoe. I believe I've got these mean old walking blues. Well, I woke up this morning feeling around for my shoe. Well, Lord knows I've got these mean old walking blues. I'm leaving this morning if I have got the blinds. I've been mistreated and I don't mind dying. I'll be leaving in the morning if I have to ride the blind. Well, I've been mistreated and I don't mind dying. She got Elgin movements from her head down to her toes. Breaks in on a dollar most anywhere she goes. Oh, oh, honey, from your head down to your, you know what I'm talking about. Breaks in on a dollar anywhere she goes. Some people tell me that the blues ain't bad. Worst old feeling that I most ever had. Well, people tell you that the lonesome blues ain't bad. Worst old feeling, ooh, that you most ever had. Woke up this morning, feeling round for my shoe. Believe I've got these mean old walking blues. Well, I woke up this morning, I'm feeling round for my shoe. Well, Lord knows I've got these mean old walking blues.
Very nice. Very
Thank you.
nice. I think you actually had the you called the dogs home. I heard them howling.
They get attracted to it.
Yeah. So what year what was that written?
Gosh, I believe probably early 30s.
Yeah.
Robert recorded them in 1938, I believe.
Yeah. So who else is playing this stuff contemporarily these days? I mean, I know you guys. I mean, there's plenty of, but anybody?
Well, my favorite, and he's really a national treasure, is Johnny Long.
Yeah.
And Johnny's from Denver. You know,
Really?
he's actually from Missouri.
Yeah.
I think St. Joe. I'm not quite sure, but also there's John Hammond.
Yeah.
Keb Mo has done a lot to popularize. One of my favorite is what's his name, Johnny Winter.
Yeah.
Plays the hell out of it.
I'm looking forward to hearing those guys, and looking forward to having you play some more on in the future. So thanks very much.
Well, thank you.
Good.
Hello, my name's Dave Greenwald. This guitar is a 1920 Martin koa wood guitar. The koa wood comes from Hawaii. That's the only place it grows in. And it's more like in the old days they would call a parlor guitar. Has a classical neck. I like it because I can really get my fingers underneath the strings that are wide apart. Anyway, I want to start out and do a song called Crosstown Woman. I wrote this probably back in the early 70s. It's musically, it's very much like a Robert Johnson style. It's contemporary. That was the other recession we had. I think it was '82 actually. And this, it applies nowadays because we have recession nowadays. Song's called Crosstown Mama. Sometimes I call it Crosstown Woman. So damn economical, but this old recession's getting me down. Yeah, I'm so damn economical, but this old recession's getting me down. But there's this woman that I'm loving, ooh, she lives on the far side of town. I don't like to waste no gasoline, but my needle's getting low. Every time I look at that, oh man, it just goes down. Oh, I don't like to waste no gasoline, but this old needle's getting low. But my crosstown woman, she sends it high as it can go. High as it can go, oh I believe it, man. She's my crosstown woman, oh yeah. Oh how we love to recreate. Yeah, she's my crosstown woman, oh how we love to recreate. But if you move in with me, child, just think of all the money we might save. Let's go cross town now. I can tell the GDP from the MFCPI. I can tell the GDP, that's the gross domestic product, from the MFCPI. That ain't no railroad, people. But every time I go down to Queen Super's, people, I just lower my head and I cry. The prices are much too high. But I've got my crosstown woman, oh how we love to recreate. Yeah, she's my crosstown woman, oh how we love to recreate. But if you move in with me, just think of all the money we might save.